My name is Paul Peralt. I do technical sales here at Anark and just want to thank you all for your time and interest today. I'm really here to show you how we can help solve a lot of the problems that you folks have all been talking about, which is, how do I get BOM and technical data out into the supply chain so that people can start using it and collaborating, and also how to eliminate all those sort of points of friction along the way to get the right data to the right people at the right time. We've got this web-based solution that really is a way to distribute, access, and collaborate with others using all kinds of different hardcore engineering and manufacturing data. And so to start this demonstration, you see here I'm in Windchill, and we're looking at this WT part structure. We're at the top level of this Skyrider drone product. And so as a design engineer, I'm checking things into Windchill. I'm working in Creo. At some points, I either get an email or somebody will ask me, how do I get this technical data out to the people that need it? And so really, it's not just one file, one part, or one document. It's really, how do we get all of this information into a format, into a browser really, that enable people to interact and collaborate and understand my design intent, etc. And we have this reference integration for Windchill. And what I'm looking at here is an Anark core technical data package that's presented here in Windchill as a link. And so if I want to check out that technical data package, I can just click that button. And then here is the technical data package. First of all, we're looking at the change notice that essentially triggered the generation of this technical data package. And you can see here that this change notice, we're going to be replacing a 1,000 milliamp hour battery. I can see here we've got the AML and AVL. And this is again, it was a multi-page document, but it's now all what we like to call fileless content. And the great thing about fileless content is that it can all be viewed right here within the browser. Let's say I'm on an iPad or a Samsung Galaxy or a Google Pixel, etc. We've got hardcore 3D CAD here. It can interact with different views. Here's a view of the circuit board and the mounting hardware, etc. Another thing is that we can open up a full bill of material. Here's a bill of material there's my battery that we're going to be replacing. I can just click on that. You can see it highlight here. You got that cross highlighting characteristic. And so the key thing about these technical data packages, again, is that we can distribute and collaborate in the browser by sharing information rather than discrete files. And so that has really profound implications for your ability to control your intellectual property, for your ability to conduct collaboration with people downstream, and also for your ability to tell who is interacting with what content that's been published. So I'm now just going to jump into assume the role of somebody in procurement. And so my role here is that I'm communicating and collaborating with the extended supply chain, contract manufacturers, et cetera. And again, I'm sort of faced with this problem. How do I get a bunch of technical data out to a bunch of different suppliers in a way that doesn't sort of consume all my time? I don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops. I don't have to go beg people to create technical data packages for me. And so here I am in Navigate, and of course it's this great, easy to use browser-based interface. And you can see down here, we've got some custom tiles. These are the Anark core applications. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Collaborate with TDP tile. And what that's going to do is enable me to create something called an activity. And so conceptually, an activity is a way to create a siloed conversation with a group or individuals that I choose. And I can also designate various different pieces of technical data or technical data packages to belong or participate in this activity. And so you can see here that this activity has a start and an end date. I'm the owner of the activity, so that's the OEM. I've invited a particular supplier to participate. And we've also assigned this technical data package into this particular activity. And so what this is doing is it's creating a way for me to have this almost like a one-on-one conversation with a downstream technical data consumer that gives them access not only to this technical data itself and the 3D CAD and the AML and the AVL and various different specifications and schematics, et cetera. Not only does it give them access to that, but also provides this way to have a social media style, sort of threaded graphical discussion. And you can see here again, as the procurement officer or so, I created an activity. This activity shows this change notice, made a post that said, hey, we're going to talk about this battery change. And then I also created a graphical markup here, and I'm going to show you this in just a second, but I created a graphical markup here that says, hey, this is the component that we're changing. And so it makes it very, very easy for my supplier not only to access this content, but also to understand what is the change, what are we trying to fix or replace, et cetera. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch gears again, and I'm going to open up a different browser. And in this case, I'm going to assume the role of the supplier that's been invited to participate in this activity. And so the way that this works is that I just get an email with a link that says, hey, you've been invited to participate in this activity. Click the link and log in. And when I log into the system, this is all I see. So I don't have to navigate through a really complex user interface. I don't have to go into product structure, et cetera. I just see this social media style conversation. And if I'd like to make a comment here, if I'd like to ask a question or look into some of this technical content and try to understand, okay, what's the change notice? What's the specific part that we're focusing on here? Again, I have access to all of that within my browser, and you can see that I can interact with this assembly before it's completed fully loading. And so it's a very mobile friendly environment as well. In the technical data package, and now I've got a question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to ask a question specifically about this circuit board. And what I'm doing now, again, is I'm jumping into the technical data and I'm going to use some markup tools. Let's activate a specific view here. And maybe what I'll do is I wasn't super clear about what my quote needed to include. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a color here and a markup tool, and I'm going to highlight or create a fence around this USB connector right there. I'm going to capture this graphical markup, which then adds it to the conversation. When it's added, I'm just going to ask this question of the OEM. Do I need to include connectivity test in my quote? So I'm now posting this, and this is a real-time conversation. If the procurement officer is logged in on the other side, they're just going to see my question just pop up in their activity feed. And if not, they'll get an email that says, hey, supplier one just asked you a question. Click here to link. Oh, and there's the answer already. So my OEM has just answered my question. Yes, please include verification tests for the connectivity in response. So this is, again, just to recap, this is a solution to help organizations that have large extended supply chains and use contract manufacturing, et cetera, to help them essentially connect people and devices to the digital thread. And the digital thread in this case is being able to scoop out information out of products like Windchill and other products to create technical data packages that are graphical, fileless information that we can then use to conduct different types of collaborative exchanges, to create activities, and to ultimately be able to get a better handle on how we solve all different kinds of problems, how we drive quality, and also how we sort of reduce all of the friction that's involved from getting this data from point A to point B to point C to point D throughout the extended enterprise.